here to talk for a change about some of the movies and television I have been viewing. It's been a couple months, I think, since my last viewing video. I think I did it like right around Oscar time. And I've been reading and writing more, so I haven't been doing as much viewing lately, but I have watched a few things, so it feels like a good time to talk about it. So let's start with The Mandalorian Season 3. Or should we just change the title to The Mandalorians? This was the third season of the series following Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, the titular Mandalorian, but it really was more about finding a home for the tribe, clan, whatever they call themselves, the Mandalorians, and kind of reconstructing their culture. It was fine, I guess. I have to admit that when I watch Star Wars shows, I tend to be on my phone a lot. I don't feel like it's the kind of thing that needs my full attention. I'm not as invested as some people in that world and those stories, much as I loved the original trilogy as a kid. The expanded world means a little less to me. I remember reading the Timothy Zahn books and liking those, Heir to the Empire and all of that. But yeah, so I know a lot of people really disliked Mandalorian Season 3. I didn't hate it. I was just kind of meh about it. I made a lot of jokes about Bo on her throne just sitting around, hanging out, needs to get back to her chair kind of thing. It was rife for a little bit of ridicule there. And of course the whole, but I saw a Megalosaurus. Mythosaur. Megalosaurus. That's Jurassic Park or something, right? Is that an actual dinosaur? Let me know. Anyway, yes, the Mythosaur. And, but I saw a Mythosaur. Can I tell you about the time I saw a Mythosaur? Anyway, all in good fun, not in like nasty humor kind of way. I'm always looking for things to create kind of that family bond where we joke about things. And this show lended itself to that, so that's fine. That's actually good. It's great for us. We watch it as a family. It's one of those shows that we all sit down and watch together. So I do really appreciate and enjoy that there are shows like that we can do that with. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't overwhelmed. I wasn't underwhelmed. It just kind of, it was there. I watched it. It was fine. How did it compare to previous seasons? I don't know. I mean, again, felt a little less focused on Din, and there was like all this other stuff going on. I kind of picked up on the whole, I don't want to get political here, but my husband's Jewish, so I was picking up on this sense of like the Jews looking for their homeland. Like I felt like there was an allegory or a parallel there. Whether intentional or not, I don't know. But, so yeah, it was a thing. I guess 3 stars if I was going to rate it in a 5-star scale. It was fine. Next, I will just mention that we are in the process of watching Picard Season 3, just me and my husband. The kids are not into all the Star Trek stuff. But so far I'm enjoying it. So we really liked Season 1. We didn't watch... we watched like 2 episodes of Season 2 and we're like, no. And picked it up with Season 3 because we heard it was really good. And so far it is really good. So, I mean, obviously I am a Next Gen girl. I grew up with that in middle school and high school. It started... It's interesting because Next Gen, I've mentioned this before, it started the year I moved away from my hometown and ended just as I moved back to my hometown to go to college. So it was kind of this perfect bookend moment of my life. So Next Gen means a lot to me. and seeing everybody on screen again is really exciting, and I'm enjoying it. But we haven't finished the season yet, so I don't have much to say except that so far so good. And we watched the new John Mulaney Baby J stand-up special on Netflix. Okay, so I really enjoy John Mulaney, as many people do, and then of course, after all the personal drama in his life, there was always this sort of conflicting feeling of, is it okay to still watch and enjoy John Mulaney? I don't want to get into a whole cancel culture argument, but I just have always had this sense of, once you know something about a person, you can't unknow it, and it does color your understanding of the art or anything that person happens to do. I mean, even I think in business, if you know something about a coworker or your CEO, it's going to affect the way you perceive them and the way you sense what they do and say and why. There's kind of no escaping it. You know, ignorance is bliss, as they say. People say, oh, I want to be an informed consumer, but then at the same time, sometimes you'd rather not know. I don't know. Anyway, Baby J did a good job of just kind of meeting head on. You know, Mulaney just decides to, you know, directly address a lot of the stuff that people have been talking about, not so much his relationship, but his drug use and dependency. And I appreciate that tactic from him. I didn't think it was particularly funny. I mean, there was some funny stuff. The very end when he's reading the GQ article, that was pretty damn funny. But a lot of it is not the laugh out loud funny, quotable stuff that I'm used to from him. Still, I think for him, this was a really good tactic to get himself kind of back on the road to what he does best. And, you know, so it was good, but definitely I wouldn't think his best work. Then again, I'd rather have this than, you know, him high on cocaine, just for his own sake. You know. D&D, Honor Among Thieves. Finally watched it. Actually really enjoyed it. It's, you know, very, very of the game and of, you know, the world of the game. But as somebody who has only played a little bit, as somebody who, you know, even doesn't know a lot about it, still completely watchable and enjoyable for people who don't know anything about D&D. You don't have to go in knowing what all these kinds of characters are. Yeah, it was fun. It was exactly what I expected and exactly what I wanted from it, and nothing more or less than that. I too love potatoes, so I'm right there. But yeah, I just felt like the group, you know, had good chemistry. They worked well together. There was a lot of just fun. Obviously, the baddies are kind of over the top, awful, but again, very typical for not only D&D but high fantasy. So yeah, as somebody who doesn't do high or epic fantasy, at least not when I'm reading, and considering how easy it is to do high and epic fantasy badly on film and in television, I always appreciate when a movie manages to pull it off, at least at a tolerable level. This was fun. I know it didn't do as well as maybe they were hoping. I doubt it made a profit, so I don't think there will be sequels, which is unfortunate because I would watch more of these for sure. I really, really had a fun time with it. And in a similar vein, game-based movies, Super Mario Brothers. Okay, so again, I'm not a video gamer. I used to play the NES version, right, of Super Mario with my friends, but I never owned it. I didn't own, like, consoles and things like that. I enjoyed it, but, whatever. So I maybe don't have the right nostalgia factor for Mario, but it just felt like they were like, we want to take some iconic video game levels, and string them together loosely with some kind of connective tissue that I guess is a plot. I didn't think it was that good. I don't know. I didn't hate it, but it was kind of boring, I thought, and a little bit pandery. I did appreciate that they made Mario and Princess Peach, kind of friendly, and then their friends are kind of ribbing them about, oh, you like her or whatever, but there wasn't like this instant romance or this, that it was kind of, I don't know, not over the top romantic. And Bowser and his Peaches song, I will admit, is hilarious. So there is that. Almost certainly there will be another one, because this one did really well, and we did end with that Yoshi being born in the, human world sewer. I don't know if this is going to be like a Godzilla thing, or if it's going to be like the alligators in the sewer kind of urban legend sort of thing. It was cute. It's not a movie I think I ever need to watch again, which is a shame, because I think we bought it since it was almost as cheap to buy as to rent. But it didn't really need, I don't think it has a huge rewatchability factor, at least not for me. I think my kids were kind of yeah, this was cute. They liked it, but again, it wasn't wow, amazing. The animation's fine. I mean, even I know what the Rainbow Road is and all of that stuff, because my kids do play Mario Kart, and I see all of that stuff, and I'm familiar with Donkey Kong and everything. So I was familiar enough to be okay, I get it. But I don't know. I felt like it was thin. It was a little bit thin. Yeah. And finally, the elephant in the room, maybe? Ted Lasso Season 3. A lot of people really didn't like this season, which is ostensibly the final season of the show. This season kind of spread itself out to focus on various characters, which is not uncommon when you have a series with a large cast. Everybody kind of gets their episode. I will say, as I often do, anytime a show starts out really, really well out of the gate, it's very hard to maintain that level. And, you can't be surprised if it loses even just a little bit of ground. That being said, this season of Ted Lasso still moved me. I still teared up regularly. And I found the ending very satisfying. And, I still think we need more Trent, but that's just me, because of all the people who got focused on. I feel like Trent didn't get enough. I could have done with a little more of his story. But at the same time, I don't think the show should continue. I know people were making a big deal out of, but it only says season finale. It doesn't say series finale. But it's just something to be said for going out when you're on top and not trying to prolong or continue something just because it's popular and makes money. Of course, I'm fighting the capitalist industry here by suggesting that they, quit while they're ahead. But, I liked this season just fine. Was it as good as seasons 1 and 2? Probably not, but I was satisfied with it. I didn't hate it. Maybe it was a little more uneven because of the scattershot focus of things. The Rebecca on the houseboat episode, I was kind of whatever. But there were other things in that episode that were fun. And, it was good. I really, really enjoyed Ted Lasso as a show. Again, it's one of those shows where the cast comes together really well. and I don't know, they're all engaging and it pulls at the heartstrings. And I usually really, really hate feeling emotionally manipulated, but all of this feels so sincere and earnest that I can't hate it. I just love it. So I am a fan, and I didn't hate season 3. I thought it was okay. And I'll be sad that it's gone, but also I'd be more sad if they tried to keep going. Please don't keep going. Please don't make it a thing. But anyway, that's it. Those are the things I have been watching or have watched. I'll let you know more about Picard season 3 when I finish. And somebody suggested Bad Sisters, so that's on my to watch list. I'm not going to the cinema these days, mostly because of the bad behavior that I've encountered every time I try to go see a movie in a theater. People have just ceased to behave in any kind of decent way. And people are on their phones watching videos while the movie's happening. Like, nope. I probably won't go back to a cinema anytime soon until behaviors change or the cinemas start enforcing rules again, which I just don't see happening. They seem not to be bothered. And that's a personal preference. There's nothing, I've finally come to the point where there's nothing that I need to see on a big screen in a dark room with a bunch of other people badly enough to, go through it. I've got a nice big TV. I've got a good sound system. I can turn the lights out on my own. I can make my popcorn. We buy candy when we have movie nights. So we have the candy, we have the popcorn. We do it at home, and we're satisfied with that. So yeah, there's nothing that I mind waiting for because I manage to avoid spoilers most of the time. I don't read a lot of industry news, and I don't look up shows and stuff until after to see what other people are saying. So, aside from like headlines, that come across, like the ones that say, "Oh, Picard 3 is so good," and I was finally like, okay, I guess I gotta watch it, kind of thing. But yeah. So don't spoil me on anything in the comments though, because that's rude. And if you have suggestions for TV, movies, and other things I should be watching, let me know in the comments. But yeah, that's it for now, and I will see you again when I see you. Happy June, happy Pride. Now's a good time to go pick up one of my books, the Drew and Ray's stuff. The first one is a freebie, so go download it. Switchgrass Crown has good ace rep and gender questioning rep if that is your thing. My book Fayburn has a really cute gay couple. Obviously, The Fall and Rise of Peter Stoller is about a gay British spy. So I do have Pride adjacent content that is out there. Please consider picking one up. In the meantime, thank you and take care.